what I'm going to try to do is hit all of the tier 1 and 2 raids, however you want to call them, tier 6 and 7, however you want to call it. I essentially want to hit every raid that we possibly can. I'll talk a little bit more about that as we get closer to the top of the hour. By the way, for anybody that's in the channel that's listening at the moment, if there are any new spells that change the way I need to do the raid makeup, if there's anything that you have advice for me on, because spells are new with the new expansion, please let me know. I know things change as time goes on. Anybody have any new spells that they're loving right now from the new expansion?
Warrior Fade.
I already called that one.
Do you have it yet, Tyrion?
Boss yet?
Yeah, nice, Clara. We actually, Druids got the reverse of that, so we can hit the mob and it will heal the tank. Oh, nice. Looks like Shaman got the same thing, except, oh, it's a slow and a hot on the target's target. Oh, that's pretty cool. Earth Dawn, the turn-in guy, is literally right as you pop into Brell's Rest, so we can hit that on the way in. I will move us in about 5 minutes or so. The one thing that I ask from everyone is that you be patient tonight. We're going to move a little bit slowly. We're going to move succinctly because not everybody is familiar with the expansion yet. But we're also going to try to hit this really hard raid. So just be patient tonight, as always. I suspect it will take us several tries to get this raid right. If anybody still needs an invite, just go ahead and accept for me, please.
Remain here.
Hey, Lynx, are you in this channel at the moment?
I am.
I've got fading in here. If you want to hit voice of prescience, I'll hit haste.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks.
Although I guess with the tranquil blessings, it's not as much of an issue now. I always forget about tranquil blessings now that it's part of our lineup. Also, as a note, we do have new members that are raiding with us. We've got some folks that are still needing to level up, so help them out as we get through the next several days or weeks or so. Hopefully, they will become valuable members of our raiding. They're a little bit low tonight, so but we're happy to have them with us. So just keep that in mind. For those lobby folks that are here, prepare to die. You killed my father.
Love you.
And if you want, you can start the drinking contest for Kit saying, please be patient.
For those that don't know, I mentioned Tranquil Blessings. It's exactly the same as Mass Group Buff, with one major difference. You can only cast it out of combat, but it only has a 30-second cooldown. The purpose of it is to buff before raids when you're out of combat, and save MGB for things like MGB heals during the raid, or MGB whatever the Rangers cast that everybody likes. Let's go ahead and get those buffs out. We'll be moving shortly. Let's go ahead and get preliminary buffs out, though, if we could, please. Raid is still filling up. I still think we'll have a couple of folks join us in the middle of the raid, hopefully. If there is anyone that is Bard familiar that can give Marie, our new Bard, that is a little bit on the lower side, advice on what to play, again, probably not going to be much in the DPS department for specific to the Bard, but we'll certainly boost our melees. So if anybody has advice for Marie, if you could send Marie a tell. Keep in mind they are on the lower side, so they may not have some of the newer spells. It's good to see so many of you. Again, I'm hoping we have a few more folks join us. I'd like to see 40 plus. I think we'll have a couple of folks come. We will be moving as a raid tonight. Again, because these are new zones and people aren't familiar with them, I'd like us to move as a raid. Let's finish up those buffs, please. Okay, folks, we're going to take the guild portal to Brell's Rest, and you're just going to hold there for a moment until everybody moves. It should be set, by the way.
Who's that NPC you turn the gems into?
He is over here to the west. And his name is Dweckvard Gravelpick. I'll put it right here in raid.
Thank you.
You're welcome. If you have any trade-in gems, that's who you give them to.
He says that under his name, doesn't it?
It says something adjacent. It says Runestone Trader. Even though it's called a...
One for the, there's one for the runestones and one for the others, the trade-ins. Isn't there?
Oh, yes, you're right. Sorry. Holdegar Bear Dune is in the same general area. My apologies. Thank you, Sayo. Okay, everybody. We are going to head to Pellucid Grotto. That is going to be a north-northwest movement, then hang a left, and then a south movement. You may invis to move. We are moving to Pellucid Grotto. Once you're there, please hold at the entrance.
Anybody else's on times gotten increasingly long?
I know some people have had some issues in zoning. Please move up to Kit once you are in. What I'm going to do while we're getting started is if I could start having some quick clearing while we're moving slowly, please. These are going to hit very hard, so let's make sure we're watching the tanks and not pulling too many. We're going to crawl. There's a lot of C and Viz here, so it makes sense for us to do that. While we're still waiting on everyone to gather. And as always, it's a good chance to kind of get us in the groove before we actually start a raid. A little warm up. Keep them coming, Volt. You guys know the drill by this point. I shouldn't have to tell you. Make sure we have those temp buffs, reptile, languor, all that good stuff, listlessness, whatever it's called, on all of our tanks. Guild banner is now down at us. Chasm had to leave for an emergency, but he may be back within the next hour or so. Malawin, that's for use, just so if you're planning tankage.
Yep, still feeling that.
I'm also kind of hoping we'll get some spell gems on the way. Plus it gives people a chance to see the zone. And technically we only have one raid for tonight, so it... Oh!
You okay, Kit?
Yeah. Snuck up a little far there. Again, this is a crawl for now. Volker, we're heading to Kronk, if you know where that is. If not, it's basically the far west part of the zone. The temple.
Yeah, I think I remember where.
By the way, because I was still waiting to kind of see what was going to happen with the expansion, Volker, you'll definitely need to pull some of that stuff to the right as well, just because there's a large number of people. So I still don't have Monday, quote unquote, nailed down as to what we're going to do. If I have folks that have specific things that they would like us to do, I'm always open to any suggestions. Keep moving up to Kit, please. We're moving. For those that are not too familiar with this zone, usually it is the mithril golems and the crystalline hulks that see.
If you win that Costco powder and sell it to an NPC, I'm gonna cut you.
Not gonna happen. We're continuing northwest. DPS is looking pretty good tonight. I like to see that. Also have pretty good healing and tanking tonight. I think we're in pretty good shape. We're going to be moving southwestish now. Just watch the ads. Southwestish, please. We likely will not do this every time we come here to do this zone, but I wanted to give us a nice little warm-up. Also see if we can get a couple of little spell gems to drop. There's also a lot of C invis here, so it is problematic. Especially early on in the expansion, since we're still young noobs. Continuing southwest, we'll stay on the right side of the lava if we could, please. Moving northwestish. Staying on the right side of the lava, please. Move up to Kit. There's a Shadow Knight spell. We seem to be spread out. Let's try to catch up on these ads and then we'll move up.
Yeah, don't live over the lava because you'll aggro the other side.
Let's see, Mr. Pox or Mr. SK, do you need that unsavory sacrifice rank 2?
I have rank 1. If Skate wants it, he can have it.
Seems like a fair enough sacrifice. Get it? Because it was unsavory sacrifice. Okay, we're going over the bridge here. Once we go inside this tunnel, the mobs do not aggro, so don't aggro them. They're nice. Don't hurt him. These oozes you can kill. A couple elementals on the other side too, so watch those. Okay, we're moving into the tunnel here to the south and west. We're going to move inside. You're going to hang a left, and you're going to move up the stairs, please. Just 1 second while I request the raid. I believe this is where I request it. 1 second. Malai, I want to answer your question, yes. Well, the hard part is done. We've got the raid requested. In order to zone in when the zone is up, prepared is what you're going to say to Kronk. Once inside, please stay put.
There's no lever to pull.
I don't think so.
He has poison, but it's not for you.
Okay, welcome to the second of the first tier raids. This is called the Unburrowing. Once we get everybody inside, we'll check our buffs, and I'll do a little explainer as much as I can. Lynx Xavius is not here tonight. I believe Damien is still not feeling well, so I don't think we have Xavius tonight, but you are going to be working overtime on this raid, so everybody bear with Lynx on this raid. Just giving everybody a moment to get here. I'll put the banner down inside. If you're still trying to get in, it's say prepared to Kronk, please. Okay, first things first. Everybody see this little gnome in front of us here? Eggard or Wargus that's over there to the northwest. Don't do this, but if we need to escape and we're wiping and you want to get out without dying, you can say flee to either one of those guys and he will let you out. Just letting you know that. Different kind of flee, Volker. Different kind of flee. Let me make sure everybody's here. Okay. Again, Kazuma may be back. Refried I know is going to be running late, and I've got a couple of folks that are.
I'm here.
Oh, you are here. Look at that. We still, I think, we'll have a few more that'll join us. Okay, so first things first, before we get into mechanics, this is a new raid. What do I always tell you guys? It's going to be rough tonight. Pack your patience. Expect to die. We may have to do this 3 or 4 times. Don't get frustrated. It's all part of the game. Having said that, we'll go over the mechanics of the fight, and hopefully we can have this down quickly and easily. Malawan's going to put some information in Raid. Essentially, this fight is broken down into waves. They are timed waves. I know that's a lot of information. Essentially, the waves are every 2 or 3 minutes. Again, they are timed depending on the wave. It's going to start with a series of ads. We got a lot of tanks tonight and a lot of healers, so we're going to be working overtime on that as well. The various ads have all kinds of different AEs and things. We're going to try to go through the most important information of that. If you want to follow along with what Malawan put in there, I'm just going to briefly go through the waves. You don't really have to know the specifics, but there's a couple of key points that we'll try to go through. Each wave is going to have 6 to 8 mobs. As soon as we trigger it, the first wave starts. These first guys are going to do a little bit of a stun. They're going to have a nasty DD. And they will have a couple of other AEs that are pretty nasty. Links, if you need, let me give you some Parados actually. I probably need you to do a spell guard on everybody. All right, so again, wave 1, anywhere from 6 to 8 mobs. Pretty nasty procs on those guys. So tanks are going to be getting hit hard and they're going to be getting nuked and such. There are a couple of these where they do directional AEs, so tanks, you may have to pull them and face them away from the raid. If we can make it through that, about 2 minutes later, wave 2, 6 to 8 mobs, and those guys are going to root. In addition to the nasty AEs from the previous raid, or previous wave. Wave 3 is essentially the same thing. 6 to 8 mobs would be pretty nasty. Once we get to wave 4, there's going to be some unstunnable mobs. By the way, mobs are stunnable, so if you have stuns, that may help a little bit on some of these. We'll have to learn which ones are which.
The Titans are unstunnable.
And just a reminder, it's frustrating when we do a new raid because you don't know what to expect. I suspect the first one of these we're going to do cold just to see how it goes. And then, after another attempt, we'll be able to kind of learn as we go. We may be able to make it through the first few waves and then the last few waves kind of become more problematic. So I suspect we'll do better and better each time. By the time we get to the 5th wave, they're going to be doing some pretty nasty damage, and they're going to have damage shields, as I understand it. There's going to be a lot of AEs going off, so Radiant Cure is your friend here. Some of them are disease-based, some of them are corruption-based. Radiant Cure is probably the best way to get rid of those. Wave 6 will be more ads. Now, just as a note, this is for Lynx specifically, or Marie when Marie is old enough to charm. as I understand it, if it has a young Clicknar in the name or a young whatever links, it's going to be charmable. Sorry, it's mesable. The young ones are mesable. If they don't have young in the name, they are not mesable. There is also a mechanic that will allow us to, you will need to charm. There's some messengers that are going to spawn during the fight that you can charm, and it will give you an item that will allow you to charm the big guys. Again, we'll try to go through this mechanically bit by bit and see how we do. Once we get past the 6 first waves, that's all adds, then we've got the named to deal with. Wave 7 is going to have 2 named. In addition, so excuse me, 3, is it 3 named, Alawan?
It's 3.
3 named and 3 mutabeetles. The mutabeetles are pretty nasty. We probably should take those out first. Is that right, Malawan?
Correct. They have very heavy AEs. We want them away from each other and away from the bulk of the raid.
And I believe they're directional, so make sure you're facing them away from the raid. Again, we'll call this out for each wave. And then finally, if we make it through all that, the final wave is the named. It's going to hit real hard. He's going to single target rampage. It's going to have a nasty PBAE, so an area effect around him. So we'll have to have the casters as far away as possible.
Just to note, the final guy does not single target rampage, but he AE rampages for 10k.
Oh, sorry, I misunderstood. Thank you. Okay, so that's a brief rundown. I know that's a lot to absorb and you probably aren't going to remember it. It's really better to see it than to just have it spoken to you. So we're going to give this a shot. The first thing we're going to do is make sure we have all of the reptile and listlessness on all the tanks, have all your buffs ready to go, temp buffs on everyone, make sure the warriors have wild growth. Knights, make sure you have steely stance on. I'm going to hold on any MGBs at the moment until we kind of know the fight a little bit. The first attempt will be a cold attempt. Healers, very important. This is going to be similar to Fippy. And what I mean by that is for your healing, I need you to be less reactive and more proactive, meaning your heals need to be in the air before the tanks are getting hit. I know that sounds odd and difficult to do, but I mean, you really have to be proactive on the healing. If you're waiting for the tank's health to drop, it's probably going to be too late. I know there's a whole host of things that go into that, and that's easier said than done, but we'll do our best. Okay, folks. There's an alternate mode that may allow us to kite these each wave. We may employ that, but we're going to give it a shot and see how it goes. If you are a, do I have a volunteer for main assist, by the way? Bragg, I'm going to assign you. If the knights are able to kite a few, they are welcome to.
Could anything be rooted here?
I don't think they can be rooted, but I do believe snare. Some of them can be snared, not all.
If we want to kite, that sounds fine. I just would not kite the sand blights in wave 1 and 2 because they do the heavy AEs unless we're kiting them away from everyone.
Should we burn them first?
I would, yeah, on the first 2 waves. They're the big AE mobs.
Okay, and if you can stay away from those, we can DPS them down. That's great. Let me have everybody move to Kit, please. We're going to move up here to Kit. I'm just north of the raid. Just to go over what Malawan has put in there. All tanks are going to be tanks to pick up adds. If you are a knight that can snap aggro quickly, or if you have aggro on something and you want to kite it, let's make sure we're following main assist. We will kite what we can.
As far as I know, too, when we get to the Magrix and the Mutabeetles, there's no differentiating through the 3 names of the Mutabeetles. So if we want Pox to grab the top one on Xtar, Raleigh the next one down, and SK the last one, just so you're not fighting for the same one, because they will all have the same name.
It'll be chaotic in the beginning, folks. I'd like what I'd like us to do is see how far we can get the first time, and the second attempt try to get another wave, et cetera, et cetera. At this point, I need someone that can either feign death to go up to talk to Praetorus. Sometimes it's hard to find the Praetorus.
Oh god.
Nothing.
That's why I didn't volunteer.
Sorry, my apologies. That was in poor taste. Zing, do you mind doing that for me, please?
Yeah, do I gotta say anything specific or just say hello?
You will in just a second.
It's hard to miss when it's that big, Kit.
Well, I figured you'd have a lot of problems with that kid. Not true.
All right, I'm gonna move past that one because it was probably an out of a poor taste joke. Let's see. It will be the word will be destroyed when you get up there, but you can go through his text, Zing. Let me have tanks at the front. Please form a front for me, please. All tanks. I'm unsure where they will spawn from, but for now we'll move the tanks to the front. Is there anyone that is not ready? All right. Let's get some heal over times on some of the tanks before we go. I'll have Zing activate it in 10 seconds. Be ready, everyone. In 5 seconds. In 3, 2, 1, activate. They're up on the to the east, I believe. It's possible we reset the event because we pulled them too far away. I'm unsure though. Anybody see an emote other than what I saw? I feel like they depopped.
I think they did because I had one of the bosses on extended target and it wiped it clean off.
Okay, we'll give it a moment here. The second wave starts 2 minutes and 15 seconds in. So again, this is a learning experience. It's possible we need to keep them in their little arena there. Did we miss one? Okay, we'll set up in the same location where we just were. Let's have the tanks to the east, forming a line there where those mobs were. Let's give just a moment to refresh some of the mana that we lost. Good job, everybody. I mean, just so far, I felt like, okay, we could handle those waves pretty easily. It will get harder and harder, though.
Probably you don't want to sit there. If they all pop, you're dead.
Refresh Reptile and Listlessness on everybody. Okay, Zing, would you be available to do that again, please?
Right, just say when.
Anyone not ready? Okay, we're going to go in 10 seconds. In 3, 2, 1, let's do it. They're up. Some in the back. Brag's down. Resi. Pox is down, Resi.
Earthdawn's down as well.
Let's get Jimmy up as well. Thank you, Lynx. For the main assist, the young ones should be set aside for last and make sure they don't get damaged.
They reset again.
Yeah, this one over here in the back was not aggro on anything and not attacking, even though we were hitting it.
Okay, is it possible we can get aggro on a couple at a time, get them in the cycle, and then pull the other ones, like so one at a time we can get them aggroed? It looks like we have about 30 seconds to a minute or so before it changes. Gaunt says he has it stun locked. Jimmy still needs a res. Can we get Jimmy res, please? Unless he hasn't taken it.
I sent him one.
All those folks that died, let's get them rebuffed quickly.
That's possible, Seep.
Lynx, when did you get that? Was there a messenger that popped up? Oh, okay, you're just reading info. Got it. Okay, I thought you had actually gotten one. Please make sure Earth Dawn, Poxrot, Jumi, they all get rebuffed, please.
Yeah, that makes sense. If there's one that we're charming, then that would not be aggroed.
Just going to give a moment for those folks that died to kind of catch their breath. It's challenging, folks. I know. We'll get it. It is possible we're pulling them too far away from the center area, and that's why it's resetting, but I'm unsure. Let me have everyone move up to Kit, please. We're going to adjust the location here real quick. To the banner is where I want you to be. While we're waiting on those folks to med up, let's make sure we have all temp buffs on everyone. Wild Growth, Reptile, and Listlessness. The good news is, so far, we're not failing because we're wiping. We're failing because something with the mechanics, we're letting it reset. So we can figure out what that is. I think we'll be okay. If we could leave the young ones until last and mez them, just keep them aggroed, but don't damage them. Make sure you're following assist, please. Is there anyone that is not ready?
Earth Dawn's at 20 mana.
Okay, thank you. Spires can't be MGB'd, correct?
No.
All right, please check your buffs. We're going to set up, we're going to begin in about a minute. "45 seconds. "30 seconds. Sing if you're ready in 10 seconds, please. In 3, 2, 1, begin.
There's one of the Clicknars is out of control.
Okay, we need to save those young ones for last, please. Make sure those are getting mezzed. The young ones need to be saved for last, please. We're going to let the event reset.
When it's reset, do we banner back?
We will, yes.
Okay.
Do not do that yet, please.
Oh, nice. Even if you're not in aggro, if you are in the zone, they summon and kill you.
So for those tanks that are picking up mobs, if you can pick up the young ones and aggro them until they can get mezzed, that would be helpful. We should be saving those as last.
There is at least one Clicknar that was loose and just tearing up everyone, and it kept getting taunted by tanks, but then they went down like crazy.
Just give it a moment to reset. If you want to summon and res, that's probably easier if we just met up in the guild hobby. Excuse me, the guild hall. If you want to summon in the guild lobby, you can. It's probably faster since we can banner right back to the event. It's relatively quick. Once you summon and res, since it doesn't cost you anything, if you'll come back to the guild hall, and we'll met up there. I know it's a challenging raid, everyone. Pack your patience as always. Just remember the loot from this is as good as the Fippy raid and just as much. So we'll do our best to see how much we can do for this. We seem to get a lot farther in time-wise on that last one. Can anyone confirm? I felt like we didn't have it reset, but we were wiping, so. Can anyone confirm if it looks like they're spawning in the exact same locations each time? Maybe we can stage a tank at each spawn point.
And the one spawn point's 3. They do look like they're spawning in similar spots.
Yeah, there also seemed to be one kind of on the flat ground where the raid was stacked up earlier. Also, since we are mezzing, make sure you're not doing any AEs or rains.
Got hit by AEs this time when didn't get hit earlier. Was that the raid targets that we were closer to, or what was that from?
It's just possible it's a different set of mobs. The mobs are different each time. Different combinations of mobs.
The sand blights have multiple AEs. One of them is that blind. They may have also just reset before they started casting the first 2 times because we lasted longer on that round.
Coyote locked up. She's restarting.
Okay, just X up one back. Just remember, because we are in the guild hall, buffs do not count down, so please get all those temp buffs going now. Once we zone in and everyone is inside, we will start the event pretty quickly. So this is your buff and med up time. Again, I thank everybody for their patience. I know it's a challenging raid. It's a new raid. Not to mention, always at the beginning of an expansion, we are under-geared for the expansion content. It'll get easier as time goes on. And as we learn. Let's give it another minute or two for folks to get buffed up and refreshed and get Coyote back in. Thank you for getting Zadrith on everybody links. All right, we're going to give it another minute or so, and then we're going to go in. Again, if possible, let's leave the young ones so that we are killing them last. We will attempt to mez them. Watch your AEs. No AEs, no reigns. Get those final buffs finished up and finish medding. Moving in 20 seconds. Don't worry, I'll wait on Coyote.
Should just a minute yet. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. Let's go ahead and take the guild banner to get everybody zoned in, please. Okay. Just waiting on Coyote to zone in. We'll make sure we get buffs if she missed any.
She's zoning now.
Thank you. So each attempt, we've been learning a little bit more. Again, we lasted longer that attempt than any of the previous other attempts. I think it's because we went and finally got the other mob that was up. Let's do our best to leave the young ones for last. We will try to mez those. So Bragg, that's on you to make sure you're not being main assist on young ones until the other ones are dead.
That's a lot of pressure, man.
You got all those extended targets now that you can do.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Zinger, you in place?
Yo.
Anyone that is not ready? I know Coyote is still zoning.
Yeah, she's locked up when zoning. She's gonna have to reboot. So just go ahead.
Yeah. No worries. Just X up when she's back. Okay, let's be ready, please. We're going to begin in 20 seconds. Tanks form a line. Make sure you're keeping the mobs ready to get picked up. Before we begin, let's do heal over times on tanks or groups or however we want to do that from the clerics. We're going to begin in 10 seconds. Be ready. Proactive healing, folks. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. They're up. We are 1 minute in. Follow your assist. No AEs. We are 30 seconds away from the next wave. Get rebuffs.
Now, yeah.
Yes, you do need to kill them, but one at a time, please. 20 seconds. Get those burned down quick. We're going to get more. 10 seconds. Finish that one quickly. Be ready for more. Should be spawning now. Tanks pick them up. Proactive heals. Let's get wards down. Got one on kit. It's off now. Proactive heals. Tanks are down. Get them up.
Silence.
Silences suck.
Keep resing people in if we can. Call the clerics. Save the young ones for last. Going to get the next wave in 35 seconds. Keep resing people in. Next spawn in 10 seconds. Can we hold those mez, please? Don't attack. Hold them mezzed. Get everybody res, please. That's the young ones. I think we're overwhelmed at this point. Might want to leave it so we can reset. We're doing better each and every time. In fact, I have a new strategy that I think may work better. Same as before. If you could res and head back to the guild hall. I know it's frustrating, folks. It's challenging. Remember, we'll do our best. We get better and better each time. I am going to make a change, though. Lynx, could you Coyote, could you X up again one more time for me, please?
They reset.
Thank you. Again, we're just going to summon res real quick, and then we'll pop into the lobby and rebuff. I think we should leave the young ones each wave and have Lynx try to charm. I did see the messengers on tracking.
Oh, charm and then they'll kill themselves.
Just remember, everyone, we knew that some of these underfoot raids were going to be really, really tough. Well, so far you guys are doing great. I know it feels like we're Groundhog Daying it, but we'll get it.
We were Groundhog Day and get kicked right about now. I'd be robbing the bank.
Link's crash. We'll be back shortly.
How many waves is it? Was it 4 or 6?
8. But they get different. I really think Malawin's been talking in the tank channel. I think that first wave, if we can survive without losing too many tanks, we'll actually be fine on the better waves. I think also leaving some of the young ones up alive until we can charm them, I think may help as well. It's going to really push Lynx to the limit, though. I wish we had Xavius here.
Do you happen to know if we're not close enough to them for the social aggro, how long we have to aggro them?
It seemed like it didn't reset until about 30 seconds in.
Is that enough time for you to get a couple of marks off, or?
I think so. I mean, I'm healing as fast as I can, and I'm still losing tanks, but I can do my best.
I mean, before we even pull them to mark them with numbers.
Yeah, that's possible, especially that cluster that's up on the hill. Yeah, I should be able to do that. We'll need to step away from them though, because they're aggroing proximity.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because I think that the very first time we spawned them, we couldn't even find them, so they didn't aggro right away. We still had to get close enough. So I think when we back up, we can take a second to at least get like maybe 3 of them marked, and then I can assign those 3. That way we're not getting blasted by all of them at once. Because that's how we're losing our tanks at the start. Is they're all aggroing on one and just murdering them down, and then when we're rezzed, people are healing and stuff, so we're not getting fully buffed and just die again. So if we can survive that first 10 seconds, I think we're fine.
I think also if we have 30 seconds before it resets, if we can just pull them in kind of one at a time and get the tanks assigned as like you said, instead of getting blasted, I think it may actually work.
Do they not all come if you aggro one?
No. Well, if they're proximity, they will. But like SK said, there was one off in the corner that you were never ever aggro, right, SK? Where they're positioned or what they spawn as? Well, I say we back up the raid a good bit, get the hill cluster marked, pull those in, and then have specific tanks assigned to specific spawn points, and then pull them in one at a time. That way we can kind of ease our healing in as opposed to, getting blasted. Okay, were there any left that we just didn't aggro because of proximity? Okay. Okay, and this is specifically to links, but I want everyone to listen. If we have young ones that are up within the time where we're getting the next wave, let's leave the young ones mezzed. I may also need someone to work with Lynx to pick up the messengers, because Lynx is going to need to charm the messengers. That should give her a goo that she can charm the bigger mobs. Lynx, does that make sense? Maybe we can set the rate up there once we go back in. Let's finish buffs. Let's make sure everybody has all buffs, please. Reptile, listlessness. Remember, buffs don't count down. Somehow I'm frozen.
Me as well.
Yeah, my massive group is frozen.
It sounds like a server issue.
Yeah, everything's slow.
Yeah, Coyote spell gems won't highlight, so she can't cast spells.
Yeah, it looks like a little lag spike there in the server. We'll give that a moment to pass. When your lag spike is finished, make sure you get all buffs on everyone, please. Please, please, please get those buffs out.
Kid, I should tell you that I was reading that Microsoft is pushing out an update as of noon today, so that might be affecting some people.
Damn you, Microsoft. Please make sure Wild Growth is on all of the warriors. Steely Stance on all the knights. Reptile on almost everyone. We're going to be zoning in about a minute. We'll be setting up slightly differently. If you are done buffing and you have everything you need in your full mana, you can zone in now. I'm almost positive it's what Malawin said. If we can get the strat down for easing our way into the first wave, we'll be fine. That's kind of what I was thinking, actually. Could I have everyone move northeast, please, to Kit? Northeast, please, to Kit. Malawin, are you assigning numbers to the extended targets?
I'm thinking if we may not even like because I'm not sure on the timing of like how long we have. I know we said it's around 30 seconds. If we get far enough back to where someone can run up and tag them and pull them back, then that gives us 2 to 3 seconds to just grab one on XTAR, and then I can assign it. Because that's the problem with assigning XTAR is that they're not going to be there until we actually aggro them. But if we're far enough back that someone can tag them and pull them back, whoever is up can just grab theirs on the list and take it as it comes in.
Well, we'll give this a shot. Let's have everybody move over here to the northeast, please. Same as before, young ones will wait until last. Proactive healing, I mean, you need to be blast healing your tanks. Don't wait for them to be low, just keep blast healing them. Make sure you're using your reactive type spells. If you're a druid, for example, your survival type line, that'll be helpful if someone is low. The good news is if we don't get the mobs in quickly enough, it'll just reset and we won't wipe. So it'll actually be better this way. Lynx, do you kind of know your role here as far as charming the messenger and then getting the little item that'll allow you to charm one of the other mobs? Okay, I'm going to leave you to your own devices. Is there anyone that is not with us at the moment? Malawin, anything you need to do or say before we begin for the tanks?
I guess make sure everybody's in Tanks chat and sees that. Raleigh, SK, Gaunt, Tyrion, Amarth, Volkert. You guys all see your number.
Right. Make sure Pox is toast, then grab it.
Excellent.
Can I get a bard?
Alright, so what we're gonna do differently, just so everyone's aware, Pox is gonna run up and aggro all of them and pull them back to us. As he's coming in, you will grab the one that's assigned to your number on extended target. Otherwise, Pox is gonna get nuked as soon as he gets here.
We don't want to try pulling them in one at a time.
They're going to come in large groups because if we aggro the three that stack up on the south, the little pillar that's to the south of where we're at right now, that's been 3 every time that it's spawned on it. So it's not going to be singles. And when we grab that one group, the other group proximity aggros, but they're not actually aggroed until we do something to them. They just come socially. At least that's what it's been looking like every time we've done this so far.
Okay. Bragg, if you could, start at the top mob that is not a young one. If it is young, do not damage it. We will see if Lynx can get him mezzed as quickly as possible. She's also going to have her hands full potentially with charming. She may be able to charm one, just keep that in mind. Okay, folks, again, I know it's a lot. We're learning a little bit each time. We're getting a little bit better. We're adjusting. We'll do our best. We know this is challenging content. Zing, could I have you in place, please? Please check your short-term buffs. Get those on. Okay, we're going to be spawning in 30 seconds. I need everyone ready. When we get close to spawning, make sure you throw out some heal over times, etc. In 15 seconds. Druids, let's drop our wards now, please. Druid wards down. Just druids. In 5 seconds, please.
Hey, Kit,
Yeah, stop. Hold Zing.
could we put a bard with Pox so that he has Silos while he does this?
Give me 1 second. We only have. Yeah, give me 1 second.
Could we DA a bard and have them aggro everything?
Okay, Pox, are you good?
1 second.
Once we learn our best tactic, we'll be fine. We'll be able to burn this fight down, I'm sure.
Okay, I'm ready.
Is there going to be one that's going to spawn right here on top of us? Bragg, if that one is not a young one, use it as your first target.
Copy.
Okay, anyone not ready? Okay, Zing in 10 seconds, please. 5, Hots should be out. 4, 3, 2, 1. It's up. Reactive healing. Proactive healing. I did not start a timer if anybody has it from when we began. Okay. At 2:15 is the next wave, if you can keep me posted. Okay. Start at the top young ones until we get close to timer. Keep those tanks up. Keep the other young ones mezzed for now. Keep them mezzed for now. Leave the other two. Leave the other two. Wait for the next wave, please.
For the tanks, your X-Tar spot's gonna drop by 2 if we're leaving those up.
Befuddle's dropping. It's coming in. Kill it. Quickly. Be ready. Leave the other one mezzed. Leave young ones mezzed. 2 more here. Resing Kanala.
There's a messenger up.
Got a lot of folks down. Let's get them rezzed. There's a couple of mobs loosed. Keep rezzing if we can. Rezer call. Rezer call. Looks like Link's charmed one. Use it as DPS. All right, we certainly did better that round. I think we can do this actually. It's making a lot more sense now. We're gonna let it reset. I actually think that worked pretty well. We had a little bit of a delay there. That's fine. We're gonna let it reset. We'll adjust our plans. Let's summon in the lobby, please. Go to the guild hall after you're done. We'll rebuff. Give it one more shot. Anybody know what wave we made it to there? 3?
It was 2, and then the third came, and we were trying to kill 2. It's just the first wave was very controlled that time.
Yeah, we're getting better and better. If we can keep each wave controlled, I think the second wave we messed up on because we had those extra mobs up. So links is easier for me to say than to type. Is it possible it's like an Eldon mob? Like you give it commands, like verbal commands? Because I did see it said, one of the mobs said, I go where I'm ordered, my queen. Unless it wasn't talking to you, it was just the emote from the mob. Or it's like an enchanter pet, you know? We'll keep giving this a shot up until, probably 10, 15 or so. And then if we struggle too much, we'll call it. I would like us to get as far as possible on this raid, even if we can't finish it.
Are we gonna go do Citadel or something else?
We'll see how time looks.
I'm having trouble zoning into the guild hall with Bytor. I don't know if it's another lag spike or a lockup or what.
Okay, no worries.
Reses were slow, so probably leg spiking.
Yeah, I've been kind of ping-ponging around as well, so server sounds like it's having some issues. thank you all for being patient and learning this fight. We are getting better each and every time as we adjust our strategy. I do think that that was a better setup location.
Maybe the messenger's just to get the item to get the other charms.
Yeah, that's definitely the case, but I think she's trying to figure out how to actually control the ones that she does charm with the item. Just a reminder, make sure you get all temp buffs and wild growth, etc. on as many people as possible while we're waiting in the guild hall. Buffs do not count down. Just to note, what we're going to do slightly differently is we seem to be doing pretty well on that first wave as far as time goes to kill them all. Our DPS is enough, I think, that we can kill them each wave. So we'll leave all the young ones until last, but we're going to go down the list of young ones at the end as well. We will not leave them up before the next wave, unless we are absolutely under the gun. Just going to allow a moment for some folks to log back in since we had a couple of link deaths there. Get all your buffs, get everyone meted up. Lynx, if we get into this next round, see if you can hail the Clicknar Exalt or whichever one you charm, and see if it gives you like commands that you can say. It may be of like an Eldon mob too, where it just goes inactive, and if something hits you, then it's reactive and it attacks. Okay, let's get those buffs wrapped up, please. Let's please go ahead and zone in. Yeah. Are you sure? Okay, everybody should be in zone. Final check of your temporary buffs, please. I'm not. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. I don't think it was droppable from killing, but we can give it a shot. Okay, please be ready. Going to begin in 30 seconds. Let's do Druid wards down, please. Druid wards. Going to begin in 10 seconds. In 5 seconds, heal over time should be out. In 3, 2, 1, be ready to heal. Be ready to heal. Do it. Let's get the DPS going. Looks like we got one loose somewhere.
No, no.
There are several loose in the back. Okay, looks like we're going to wipe again. I'm unsure what was different about that one that didn't allow us to do as well. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to give this one more shot where we res, get in the guild hall. This will be our final attempt for this raid tonight. One more attempt and it will be our final attempt. Please res in the lobby and then we'll meet in the guild hall. Banshee, do you have MGB heal?
Celestial regen?
Yeah, you can actually MGB either Celestial Regen or your group heal, whichever one is better.
You mean when we start?
I'll call for it. Usually what I do is call out the person that's going to do an MGB heal.
Okay.
Just was making sure you actually had the AA and it was up.
It's not the best one yet, but yep, I got it.
Okay, thank you. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to give this one more solid attempt, and I want everyone to give their absolute best. When we get in there, I'm going to have us blow everything, essentially. I'll use MGBs from the start. I'll use all wards from the start. That way we can at least see the other waves because we're not getting past the third wave. We're gonna give it all we got. Depending on time, I'll see what and if we do anything after. So let's give this our best shot. See if we can get some loot. I feel like Fippy was a tank check for individual tanks. This is a tank check for all the tanks. And of course, this is our first raid, or some of our first raids in the expansion. So we're going to be a little under geared for these events, which is why it's so rough for us. You also have to remember we really haven't struggled on too many targets. So this has been a little bit of a challenge for us. All right, said it before, I'll say it again. Get all temp buffs on everyone, please. Please finalize all buffs. We're going to be zoning in 1 to 2 minutes. 1 to 2 minutes. By the way, for our new folks that are here, this is unusual that we wipe so many times on an event, but underfoot is tough. Next week on Monday is our off night raid. I'm still coming up with what we're going to do on that raid. Details TBA. If you have suggestions, please let me know. Wednesday will either be another attempt at this or maybe a new raid. We'll see how the timing works out. I'd like to save Fippy until Friday. Fippy may be on Wednesday, depending on where we are. Please finalize all buffs and med up. We're going to zone in about 30 seconds. Okay, let's go ahead and zone in, please. Please zone in. I may also schedule a Citadel run on Wednesday, depending on where we are in our progression. We could probably use a little bit more loot, especially since the new AAs and such give us new power. Be nice to see how we do. We may also split it. We may do part Citadel. We may do part Fippy. I'll see how we look. Let's get everyone zoned in and in position, please.
Hey, SK, just to be clear, it's only one that spawns right here, correct?
It was 2 on one of the turns. Yeah, one of the waves was definitely 2, but I think SK is right. It might have been the second wave where 2 spawned there.
Okay, so for the first wave, Raleigh, you're gonna have the one that's right here. Everyone else that I have on the list, come over here to the northwest a little bit. So SK, Gaunt, Landholder, Tyrion, Amarth, and Volkert. We're going to try to grab them here, and then once you have aggro, we can back up. I'll put your number in again.
Yeah, it's the beginning of this expansion, so we know this is going to be difficult stuff, folks. Don't get too discouraged if this raid doesn't go our way tonight. Puts hair on our chest.
Who are we missing here? Volkert and Tyrion?
Everybody should be in zone now.
Because the past few times, they've all pathed right through here. So we'll grab them here, and then we can back up.
Is there anyone that is not ready? Okay, before we go, and Zing, don't do anything until I say, in just a second, not at the moment, but in just a second, I will call for all wards. I will also call out some MGBs. I'll do a druid, a shaman, and a cleric. I'll probably do Bytor, Slade, and Melite to start. Don't do it yet. Again, that's when we go. And then probably about every 2 minutes, I'm going to call for more MGBs. So just be ready for that. Yeah, I'm going to go. We're going to say this is our last hurrah. We can go ahead and do servants, please. Servants now.
Can I have a minute and 10 seconds for a cooldown?
Yes. Please make sure all buffs are on people that need it, especially wild growth, etc. We're going to be engaging in about 30 seconds. We're going to be engaging in about 15 seconds. Let me have all wards down at this time. The druids may still not be down yet, so all wards down. Druids, when it pops, go ahead and get those up. Got about 3.5 minutes left. In 10 seconds. In 5, get the heal over times out. Melite, Slade, and Bytor, give me MGBs now. Go, Zing, go.
I'm frozen.
Main assist may not be working. Do your best, follow the lowest mob that's not a young one. Start at the top, work your way down.
I'm back.
Thank you.
Just remember, when we get the next wave, you're grabbing the same number again.
I do not have a timer. Anybody have a timer from when we started? Thank you. In just a moment, Dora, Aragar, and Clara will give me an MGB. We will kill the young one when this is dead. Kill it. Dora, Aragar, Clara, give me an MGB now. Same as before. Be ready. Get heal over times out if you haven't already. Wave 1 complete. It's up. Wave 2. There's a messenger up. If we can get DPS on that. Do your best. Keep resing folks in, please. Banshee, give me an MGB. Khaleesi, give me an MGB. I need those others killed, quick. Keep resing folks in, please. Let's get Khaleesi up. Get those dead quickly. We're about to get another wave. The next wave is in. Blow everything you got. If you got MGB's heals, get them. Mez what we can.
Not getting targets.
It looks like it's another wipe. It's okay. We did better on our last attempt than any of the other attempts. We learned a lot about this event. We did fairly well. It is brand new to us, and we are still just getting into the expansion, so it'll take us some time. Let's release and res, please. And make your way to the guild hall. Hey, Kudu, are you there?
Yeah.
Can you tell me what you're going to do as far as DKP for the learning there?
I lost count, to be honest, but 4 or 5.
Okay. By the way, it's a really good attempt that last time. We were doing okay. I think as we get a little more gear and kind of pick our exact way we want to do it, we'll get that fight down for sure. For now, we're going to head to the guild hall and rebuff. Still contemplating what our next move is, if anything at all. I'll tell you what, everyone. Let's rebuff in the guild hall. And then I know there are other folks that would like to do some more things. We've lost a few people. We're losing some healers. And I think we're all just kind of mentally exhausted. So let's call it a night for tonight. I know it's early. It's Friday, and that's fine. Let's call it a night. Rebuff in the guild hall as needed, please. And we'll call it, we'll come back at this refreshed, and then maybe we'll mix things up next week, adding some Citadel stuff in as well as the FIPI raid, and we'll give this another shot, potentially as well, the cooling chamber raid. Maybe we'll find better success in there as well. I thank everyone for doing so well tonight. We know this is going to be a challenging set of raids. I think we're all kind of mentally exhausted from doing that, so it's probably a good idea to call it. I know we'd like to get some loot tonight, but I think we're losing a few folks, and I think we could use the break. Again, you'll get extra DKP for the attempts that we did tonight. You guys did amazing. I hope to see all of you next week. Monday is an off night raid, so join us for that. It's not for DKP. Welcome to our new members. Sorry you got to see us on a night where it wasn't amazing. We'll get it though. FIPI will be next week. Lots of loot for that, so make sure you come for that on Wednesday or Friday. And then we'll throw in some additional raids as well, potentially Citadel. Keep gearing up, keep buffing up, keep getting the AAs. We're only 3 days into Underfoot, everyone, so. Thank you again, everyone. I appreciate all of you. Hugs to all, and I'll see you next week.
Night, little buddy. Take care.
I probably will not be on much this weekend since I'm pulling another double. I've got another few weeks of doubles on the weekends, and then I should be back to a normal shift.